Tonight, the air across BC is hot and smoky. The vast woodlands as dry as tinder. 4 days into a state of emergency, the wildfires are ravenous. This map drives home the staggering size of the problem. That telltale red spells extreme danger for huge swaths of the province. The largest fire of note is the Shovel Lake wildfire. It's nearly 15 times the size of Manhattan, if you will, and it's located due west of Fort St. James. The CBC's Rafi Boudjikanian starts our coverage in a community on edge.
So far, firefighters have contained the flames about an hour away from Fort St. James, but for many that's too close for comfort. More than 1,000 people have already left the town and the surrounding area, including more than 300 people from Glasden Nation, now confined to hotel accommodations 2 hours from home. For those who have stayed behind in Fort St. James, there are lots of questions about whether they will be forced to leave. For fire officials, getting an answer is not always easy, not when all this smoke hampers their usual methods.
If we're unable to use our helicopters or our aircraft to find the fire perimeter, we do our best to estimate the size of the wildfire, and we can do that with infrared heat scanning. Our crews are able to take GPS tracks from the ground, but given the large size of this wildfire, it can be difficult to get the complete perimeter mapped every single day.
Some residents have chosen to battle their stress by helping the people beating back the flames. Stacy Bowman could not believe her eyes when she saw the living conditions of one group fighting fires.
They were sleeping on the arena floor. Some of them have mats, some of them are on concrete. They were living off of granola bars.
So she set to work with some friends to give them better options for food and accommodations.
No, he's becoming slender on this fire.
While residents feed their protectors, others work on starving the fires.
We've rolled out one of the biggest mass water sprinkler cannon systems that North America has ever seen for municipal protection. We're here to create an impenetrable barrier around this town.
If that barrier holds, it will help calm nerves in a town that's never seen fire threats like it has in the past 2 years.
I think we need to do some interface work and get rid of that dead down material that kind of encircles our community and reduce the fire hazard and just put the citizens' minds at ease.
The whole province may need to ponder those protective measures once it gets a handle on the hundreds of fires now burning. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Fort St. James.
This we know is true. Where there is fire, there's smoke, a monstrous, suffocating cloak that makes breathing a hazard. It's giving BC some of the world's worst air. So right now, Kelowna's air contains more particulate matter than what they're breathing in Jodhpur, India, a city the World Health Organization consistently ranks near the bottom. On a bad day, the air quality index reaches 183 there. That's considered moderately polluted. Kelowna now sits at 283, which makes it heavily polluted. Now, the scale tops out at about 500, and in the past, some Chinese cities have exceeded that. But today, China has nothing on Kelowna. As that cloak of smoke spreads throughout British Columbia and beyond, it's clogging lungs and grounding planes. The CBC's Anita Bath shows us the impact.
The smell of campfire fills the air across much of British Columbia. The sky is hazy and the famous views are hard to make out.
You live in a mountain town and can't see the mountains.
In the Kootenay region, air quality may be the worst in the province, reaching what's considered hazardous levels.
It's hard to do all the things we love outdoors and to enjoy our province when you can't breathe properly.
The smoke is forcing people to change their plans.
I was actually supposed to go mountain biking this morning, and there's no way. You just can't.
The air is no better in BC's Okanagan. Visibility is so poor, flights have been grounded.
94, number 177.
2 triathlons have also been canceled. Athletes came from as far away as Brazil and Australia, only to be met with disappointment halfway through.
It would have been impossible to compete in these conditions. It's you can't see more than 400 or 500 metres in front of yourself.
Racers say they could taste burnt wood in the air.
Similar to the Blade Runner movies, the new movies where there's just the world is covered in smoke.
That BC smoke has pushed east to Alberta and Saskatchewan. Hazy skies forced an early end to Calgary's Ride to Conquer Cancer.
I don't want to put myself at risk for potential effects riding in those conditions.
Participants were supposed to pedal more than 100 kilometers. Halfway through, they waited at a rest stop for buses to pick them up.
I had to put my mask and because I have a hard time breathing.
Under these conditions, masks are common sight, but doctors say they create a false sense of security.
Surgical masks don't actually block particle matter this small.
The worry is breathing in this air day after day could lead to dire health problems long term. A reprieve is unlikely, though. The smoke is expected to get even thicker in the days to come. Anita Bath, CBC News, Vancouver.